Hi, Mac the Fire Guy here. I decided to take some time and do a class on escaping your RV in an emergency, but especially a fire emergency. Over the past few years, more and more RVs are burning. More and more people are perishing or being severely injured because they can't get out. They don't practice an escape. They don't have an escape plan. They've never been to a class. They know nothing. So we wanted to do this video so that it would be, you can see it on my website and have some information as to what you need. We're going to be talking about the escape window and how to use it. But what I'd like to do is teach you some things that you might think about to give you more time, because you've only got 20 seconds to get out of one of these things. And my Class A is 40 feet long. The diesel, of course, is in the rear. And there's some things that I think you need to know. Let's start out with how can we possibly lengthen the 20 seconds? Well, a couple of really easy things. One, close your pocket door. Now, if you don't want to close this one, it feels too claustrophobic, then close the one between the kitchen and the bathroom. Now, Class C's, you may have a bifold door. Class B's, you don't really need to worry about it because you've already got 4 doors you can get out of pretty easily. Class C's, you're going to have the 2 front doors, you're going to have a side door, but you still may have an escape hatch depending upon how big the Class C is. Class A diesel pushers. Number 1 cause of a fire for you, the engine. Number 2 cause is if you still have the Norcold 1200 or the new 1600 refrigerator, because they haven't changed anything. The next, number 3, is all the 12-volt wiring up in the front that's not protected. That's why we have 2 smoke detectors in our rig. One smoke detector is up front so that it will let you know that if you have a wiring fire, which happens quite a lot. The other one is the one that's directly over the engine bay, the engine hatch. The reason for that is if the engine catches fire and you don't have one of our automatic systems in it, the smoke's going to come up through the floor, not usually the fire yet, but the smoke will come up through the floor, and because this is a dual sensor, photoelectric and ionization, it will go off to let you know up front that you've got a problem. You can stop, pull over, check it out and see what's going on. Some of the other things that I have in what I call my fire cabinet. Number 1, my stick is 24 inches long because the escape hatches by standard are 24 wide by 17 tall. This will help hold the window open so that you can get out. Now, if you've got one of the newer rigs that has the frameless windows, probably what you'll need to do, and the best we have found, is a 24-inch long by 1/2 inch in diameter PVC pipe dipped in rubber, or you can use a crutch or cane tip. That will help it from keeping it from sliding off of the frameless window. The other thing I happen to have is a Halon fire extinguisher. Now, having spent 35 years in the fire service, I know how Halon works. And so I have one of those in the bedroom. I'm the only one that uses it. Okay? Now, once you bail out the window, what's next? I don't know about you, but I've got pretty tender feet. So I want something that will protect my feet. So as I open the window, prop it, there's things that I will throw out. One of the things that we strongly suggest is that you get a bailout bag that you can throw out, or get a space bag. Remember the space bags where you put your clothes in it and suck the air out? Have one of those with clothing and things that you're going to need to last you at least 3 days. The reason we say 3 days is because that's how long it takes usually for the insurance company to get to you to help you. We want prescriptions. We like to have some cash, a couple of credit cards, ID, anything that you're going to need to last you for 3 days. Because remember, when you bail out on one of these things, you're homeless. And the only clothes you have on is what you have on. That's it. The other thing is I have a hammer that breaks glass, safety glass. Now, even though my window will open and everything, I have a secondary window on the passenger side. It's approximately the same size as this one. And if, for whatever reason, I can't use this one, I would take this, break the safety glass out, and then that center strut is not glued in or screwed in, it's just pressurized, but when the glass is gone, you can easily kick that out. The other thing I have is, of course, the foam fire extinguishers that I recommend. I also have, hopefully we'll get past this, my wife and I have a smoke hood, but hopefully we'll be outside before we need to use that. Probably one of the biggest things, and people don't even think about it, is a road flare. Now, the reason I use a road flare is because my escape hatch is on roadside. Now, if you've got your window open and you're trying to get out of it, all the traffic is looking at you. Now, and you know this yourself, drivers, if you're looking, you're also steering, because you're going to start staring at this thing. So we also, as drivers, know that when you see a road flare, you steer away from it. So I'm not going to throw it out, I'm going to just lob it out about 3 or 4 feet so that it takes the driver's eyes away from me and that I can then safely get out my window. Now, something new. This has not been seen much before. Is a new safety ladder that we're going to be introducing in this video. It weighs about 18 pounds. This one is 8.5 feet long, so it works very, very well for an RV. Now, the ones we have for a fifth wheel are 10.5 feet long because it's harder to get out of a fifth wheel as far as height than it is an RV. If you remember, and if you look at my other escape video, you're going to see that when we open the window, we throw a blanket out. We still do that, but instead of throwing it out on the edge of the window, we throw it out over the top of the ladder. And the reason for that is, if it's at night and you're just waking up out of a sound sleep, then you're going to have something to cover up in. And a blanket is the best. Not a sheet, not a pillow, but the blanket, or a bedspread right off the top of your bed works very, very well. So let us get set up. We're going to show you how this works. We want to talk about escape windows or escape hatches. Now, there's only about 5 different window manufacturers, and a lot of them have different ways of doing this. Some will have the center lock. It's like all your other windows. Because it's red, that denotes that it's your escape exit. When you open it up, even though it looks like a big window, this is all you have. This is why I said early on, I have the hammer that breaks the glass so I can kick that out so I have the whole size of the window. Other manufacturers have a red handle here, red handle here. You pull the handles in, or you may pull them out, or you may have to lift them and pop them, and then the window just goes out. You need to open your window at least twice a year because there's a little neoprene rubber gasket between the 2 frames, and what will happen is that will dry and it'll glue it together. Now, what I use is a product called The Solution. The Solution. And I spray just a little bit on there and it keeps it soft. You can also use 303. Be careful what you use, because if it has petroleum product in it, it can cause that little neoprene to crack over time. Now, this particular window I'm not real pleased with, but hey, it is what it is. It's a single latch on the side. This one has a lock in the back, and you push it down, it unlocks the window, as you can see. Now, this window weighs probably 20 pounds. To try and hold that off of you while you're trying to get out the window isn't going to work very well with you. And if you think your partner can do it, you would be wrong. So that's where the stick comes in. Put it in the corner, push the window out, put it in this corner, and the weight of the window will keep the stick in place. Now, those of you that have the new frameless windows, it's a little trickier. That's why you've got to have the rubber on the end so it doesn't slide off the edge of the glass. Okay? Now, normally we would teach, just take your bedspread, throw it over the edge of the window, and the reason is this edge right here is quite sharp. And keep in mind, I don't know how you sleep, what kind of clothing you have on or don't. But if you try going at that thing foot first, belly down, you could possibly leave body parts behind. So that's why we do this, so it takes that sharpness away. Now for years, I never felt that ladders would be of any use because they were all what we call flexible ladders, until this one was introduced to me, and it's really quite the thing. This one, as I said earlier, weighs about 18 pounds. And so to use this, it just goes over the edge of the window, hooks right onto the window. Now, there's a Velcro strap out here. When you pull that Velcro strap, the legs drop and lock. You would then, of course, take your blanket, throw it over the edge of the ladder, and out you go. Now we'd like to stop now so that you would have the opportunity to see what it looks like when this ladder is deployed from outside. On the back of the ladder, next to you, is a Velcro strap. You just pull up on the Velcro strap, which releases the ladder. Now you notice it's not flexible, so it's going to stay in place, and with the hooks, it's going to stay hooked to the edge of the window. You're still going to go out, foot first, belly down, and when you get to your hips, your legs are automatically going to go down, and there's your rungs. They're flat rungs. If you've ever tried to use a ladder or walk on anything barefooted that's round, it hurts. You see, it goes all the way down to the ground. So for folks who are robust, as myself, or if you're older, or if you have any kind of hip, knee, elbow problems, anything like that at all, this is going to assist you, and it's going to make it so that you can get out of your rig. It's not going to stop you from needing to practice. You do need to practice. Once you practice, and once you get it down, you're going to find out that this is really going to assist you in your escape. Now this is Mac the Fire Guy. Now go have a fire safe day.